please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town sing.
Gotta figure out that transition better. But welcome to San Antonio Soccer Roundtable. My name is Harry. Joining me tonight, as always, we gotta figure out where he's at. Oh, he's in San Antonio. Rafa, how are you? And then, dude, well, let me bring in the guest, and then we'll see if that was a valid VAR usage or not a valid VAR usage. And I'm not sure if he's a Draw Madrid fan or along those lines. But from Gonzales High School, the Apache's head soccer coach, Seiph, how are you doing this evening? And Rafa's already talking the smack here with his Draw Madrid stuff. And there went the conversation. So I got to work on the transitions also, part 2. But so a little bit of kind of what we're going to do tonight. Rafa and Coach are going to have kind of a discussion about Gonzales, talk about this year, hopefully talk about the future, what it looks like here for that here and the great things that they're doing out in Gonzales. Maybe even hit a little bit on the Lady Apaches, who have also had a very successful year as well. After we're done, then we'll go into the pound for pound Rafa Power Index for the last time this year until after the playoffs for that here. Taps is already included. They've wrapped up. And obviously, if you've been paying attention, you saw on Tuesday, I think it was, that at Northside, where they had Northside 1, 2, and at Gus here that I was able to keep track of. I think it was like 8-9 games during the day period of trying to keep up and through there. And I know there's several other soccer fanatics out there that's also putting out great work for that here. But Rafa, how are you doing? And if you and Coach Shea want to get into it and kind of discuss Gonzales.
Yeah, Coach. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well. Well.
Just want to, like I said, if you can introduce yourself, and then we're going to ask a couple questions about the program, how was the season, and like I said, what the future holds for Gonzales High School soccer.
So I'm Coach Seiph. This is my third year at Gonzales. I started in 2020. Well, 2020. I started with 2019 in Gonzales. Became the head coach in 2021. It's been an uphill battle, but we finally broke through the wall this year. Pushed all the way through. It's a tough district, being in District 27, but boys were at it. Boys were on top of it. We did a lot of things, especially this summer. Going to SanAntonio, playing the 7-on-7 up at the Soccer Central. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
How long has the Gonzales program been around?
So they've been around since 2016.
Okay.
2016.
So still fairly young. Still
fairly young, but a lot of gold. So on our crest, we have the 2 regional championships and our 5 district titles. I just wanted to make sure that I put the history in the crest that I designed. I was like, we're going to represent everything that we do.
That's good. I would do the same thing. Put the little patches on there.
That's from the Barcelona, time frame there.
Coach, has the city of Gonzales, as far as the community, has embraced, I guess, high school soccer there? I know it's a rural community because I know it's like north of Victoria from my university's job is at. So how have they embraced soccer there?
They love it. They love it here. They're very, very, very passionate. When I got here, a lot of the youth soccer wasn't set up, so I've stepped into that role, and I run the youth leagues here and make sure just everything's right there. We got them playing club now with Gonzales United, and just overseeing that, kids getting to play, people from Austin, people from San Antonio, just really brighten their horizons rather than just playing kids from Gonzales. It's really helped step that bridge and trying to bridge the gap between us and other San Antonio schools.
So far this season, how it's been the kind of like the highlight for the season going, for 2020.
So the highlight of the season has been our change to handle adversity. So when I got here, our first season in District 27, I told the guys, I was like, this isn't anything that you've ever done before. It's not going to be easy, and you have to give it your all. Otherwise, you won't make the playoffs. And before I got here, they were perennial playoffs, just about every year. But when we got put in this district, I knew who we were going up against, and I was like, if you don't buy in, if you don't want it, you don't come to practice, you don't try, it's going to be tough. And so for the last 2 years, we've missed playoffs by a point because it's just building that culture of winning and getting rid of I can put in the bare minimum and still make it. It's getting better. It's not 100% there. I'll be honest. We still have some issues, but we work through them. This group that I have is very, very, very young. We have 6 freshmen that are starters.
So the future seems bright for the next few years there at Gonzales.
Yes, the future is huge. 4 sophomores, and 6 freshmen that are the majority of the starters.
So some of the players, now that they made the playoffs this year, what their leadership to the kind of guiding the players. How was it this year for them?
So I'll bring it to this. Last year we started junior high soccer, and I run that as well. And so we've implemented it again right there. So for those freshmen coming in, I already knew what they had to do, and they've stepped into that role. The lights weren't too big, and they fit right into the system because you get to start it early. I know San Antonio has a lot of junior high, but I bet a lot of them don't have their head coach there doing it. So it's easy for me, and I say I'm in a blessed position to do that, to be able to say, all right, this is what I expect for you at high school. This is what I want. This is what I want to see. And those guys have stepped up, and I credit them. I credit the sophomores, and I credit the few seniors that bought in from day one that I got here for this to all come together.
Harry, any question?
My question is kind of also talking about the league that you're in with, you got the San Antonio schools, but then you got Yoakum and Luling. How is it having like Yoakum and Luling kind of, I think they're about a half hour or so away from where Gonzales is, looking at the map here. How is it playing kind of similar schools and then, transitioning to like, Memorial, Lavernia, bigger schools along those lines? I know as a coach, it's one game at a time, don't get me wrong. And you focus on your team.
Right.
But to me, just kind of growing the game and seeing the explosion out in the rural communities, because I grew up in a rural community, and now this is many years ago. Soccer really wasn't that big of a deal. It was football, basketball, wrestling, and track and baseball. But with the rural schools here in Texas starting to implement more there, we went out to Bandera when they first opened. Not Bandera. What was the what's that? Hondo when they first started. Just kind of the challenges and also the positives of having that real rural community, starting out. And I know you mentioned that this is what 9 years, somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
For that here for Gonzales, but seeing like Luling and Yoakum also start programs and develop programs, to me, kind of how does that help, and how does that help you guys out?
It helps because the rural communities are starting to get into soccer. There's starting to be more leagues. Like I predict Central Texas is just that last blimp that needs to expand. And once that hits, you're going to see, because you have the Bastropes that are getting out there and getting bigger, but LaGrange and all the way down there, because there's talent here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about, one, the facilities. A lot of us play on grass, and I'll tell you firsthand, getting a team to come down to Gonzales pre-district and play on grass is like saying, if you come here, we'll go there next year. It's just trying to get as many people to come down here as we can, in quality schools too, because again, your pre-district, you're preparing them for district, and if our pre-district was weak, we wouldn't be ready for this. Playing Lavernia, playing Memorial, playing Kennedy. Yoakum is starting to get there. It's going to really be tough here in the next few years. But it's going to be good because that means soccer is growing as it should.
Mm-hmm.
Like I expect a lot of the schools, because, even in the rural areas, a lot of schools, they don't have soccer. They don't offer it. But you can see more and more each year them starting to open. Okay, Navarro's opening their program. So these rural schools are starting to buy in and give their athletes something else to do, because athletes are athletes. They want to compete, and soccer is one of the toughest sports you can ever play because you don't stop. And so our training, like my guys, we run. And that's what we're known for. We're really fast, but we're fast with touch. And that's how we implement. Now we just got to add the last part to it, which is physicality.
Coach, going to, like I said, into this season, any key players you like to talk about, how that made a difference in there to get you to the playoffs this year?
There's one. Actually, there's a couple. There's one who was a senior. It's unfortunate. He tore his ACL and MCL against Kennedy. But he was our lead scorer, real fast kid, great kid. But he was that leader, and our goalkeeper. Those two seniors really stepped up this year, and I'm immensely proud of them. There's nothing bad I could say about those kids. And then the youth that they're bringing up with them, the kids that they guided, is only going to help our program succeed even more. Because without those two, I don't think our freshmen could have jumped in and been so successful so quickly. They really helped bridge that gap for them, so the lights weren't too big.
So going to the second season, you mentioned it to us earlier on Floresville. How do you guys feel about going into that game, in that first round game?
So we've seen Floresville twice. I model my game after Thomas Tuchel, so Bundesliga, PSG. I'm going to play I have a very high line, high press, and Floresville doesn't like that. And so I played them once. We tied last year. We tied 1-1, and then my first year we tied 1-1, and then the last year we won 4-3, being up 4-0 at the half. We just kind of let them come back. But I have a plan. Our team, we've been already working. We just finished training an hour ago, and so we're excited. We're ready. We know it's not going to be easy. We know that we would have rather beat Cole like when we needed to, but we're going to take it on the chin, and we're going to come out ready to fight.
How do you feel about this new format with the playoffs being D1 and D2? What's your take on that?
I like it, but then I don't like it, because then really what is 1, 2, 3, and 4 really doesn't matter. Does the district championship matter that much? Because if you win district, if you're D2, or it doesn't matter, because you could be playing the district champion from the next district. So that's the big part that I know it's the first year, and hopefully UIL will say, okay, well, maybe there's something about winning the district championship that would matter. But right now, that's the only thing that I see. Like, it just basically makes the district championship just a trophy that you put in your trophy case. It doesn't really help you in any way.
And also, how do you feel about the mercy rule that was implemented this year? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's good in some ways, because, I mean, if you say you're up 6-0 at half, all you're doing is playing that other half is risking injury. And at that point, if you're up 6-7, it's really a practice at that point. So I tell my guys, we don't put anything past 8. If we're at 7, we pass the ball, because not only are we winning, but it's the point where who knows about that program. I don't want to be the one that, oh, well, we're up 12 and it's 12. Like, give people a chance and give those other kids a chance to play. Let them grow. I'm all about being successful with my program, but also extending a hand to help others. I'm not going to say, well, I'm Gonzales, I don't want to tell you what to do or help you in any way. I want to grow soccer. That's my goal. My number one goal is to grow the sport as much as possible.
Any other questions, Harry?
No, like so no Progresso. What was it, 24-0 over a school earlier this year? It's just like, oh my goodness. It's to me, the mercy rule is one of those. There's positives and there's negatives, because obviously, because, and I know Rafa's brought this up.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got kids on the bench, it's hard to tell them, hey, don't go score a goal if you get the opportunity along those lines.
Right.
But then again, like I said here, as you mentioned here, there's the respect your opponent part where, you don't want to embarrass them, along those lines. And it is about growing the game. I know for the 90 minutes, you're rivals, but even while you're rivals, you how I was raised, you show respect and you try not to embarrass the other side, because unfortunately I've been on schools that haven't performed very well, and it's not fun. And yet you're still putting out, the same effort as the teams that's winning, and sometimes just the talent is better on there. But to me, like I said, with the mercy rule, like I see the pluses and minuses. But you're right, the injury aspect of it is one that has to be looked at 100%. But no, that's it for me. Rafa, if you want to ask the final question and get Coach out,
Sure.
I'm assuming he'd like to get home to the family.
So, like I said, this is kind of like our stoppage time. So just want to give you an opportunity to give any shout outs or say anything about the program or anything. Like I said, we'll give you this time right here.
Yeah, Gonzales is going to continue to go. We're going to continue to get better. We're not going to look at the rankings too much. I'm sorry, Rafa. I don't like rankings. I don't like predictions. At the end of the day, you got to go out and do it.
That's what I tell Harry is like the only ranking that matters is the one that has the trophy. That's
I'll just tell you, there is one Gonzales team that's in the pound for pound ranking, and unfortunately, it's not the boys.
No, and I got this free time. Credit to the girls. Even since I've been here, Coach Trim has done an excellent job. The girls put in great work, great effort every night, and we're hoping to be there soon. Because we're not there, but we will be there.
you keep improving, and you will be. And as you mentioned, you're a real young team, and especially where you're laying that foundation. Especially with the rec, the community, and the junior highs. Like I said here, it could be a power very soon.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I think next year, I can see you guys really doing, like I said, a lot of great things next year with that experience from those players coming back. Just real quick, any plans as far as preparation for next year? Have you kind of already thought? I know you're still kind of thinking for this year. Any thoughts maybe for next year? How to get this
We're gonna
kind of maybe take the next.
We're gonna do the spring, the summer. We're gonna do summer league. I won't be here. I'm getting my UEFA B, so I'll be in Wales, doing that. But I'll. That's our plan is to keep going as much as we can, and give these kids as many games as we can, because giving game time is the real time. You can do so much in practice, but games is where you want to have.
Yeah, interesting. You're getting that UFOB there in Wales. So it's like, how long have you been working on that?
So this is my second summer. Last summer I was in Miami doing my UEFA C, with MLS clubs, a lot of MLS clubs. I met the coach that coaches Lionel Messi's son at Miami. So my goal is to get the UEFA A youth. I don't really have a desire to coach on a professional senior team. I like the youth. I like teaching the youth, because when you start getting up in their pro contracts, you start working with adults. Because I did UPS all summer with the SanAntonio Runners, so I saw firsthand that level.
Oh, with Mason.
Yeah, with Mason.
No,
Mason's a good guy.
Mason is a great guy. They had a great program. They brought Machu in from France. So learning from all these people has been a blessing. It really has. And getting a chance to, be selected by the Wales FA to go get my UEFA B, nothing but beyond blessed what's happening in my life. But it's because of these kids. It's because of what we're doing here. I'm gonna stay the course, and we're gonna make Gonzales a powerhouse. It's gonna happen.
Well, thanks again, Coach. Like I said, we just want to wish you luck for the boys there, and also the girls too. Wish the girls also good luck for the playoffs. I think you have a really good opportunity to go deep this year. And like I said, whenever you want to come back on the show, we'd love to have you again. And hopefully, I'll get to get a chance to check out a game. Well, go ahead, Eric.
Well, let's hold Rafa to the fire. He just said on bracketology, which we're thinking about 4A on Monday, depending on the bracket shakeout. He mentioned, I got this written down. Gonzales going deep. I'm just putting it out there, man.
We're gonna go play the game, but we'll be ready for Floresville, and whoever comes after that.
Yeah, so no, that'll be an exciting game. If you have the opportunity, I know it hasn't been posted yet or finalized yet, but most likely it'll be later on this week. I think most games are being played Thursday, Friday-ish for that here. For the first round. If you do get an opportunity, especially if you're on the east side of San Antonio or the south side down Floresville, and out east as you head to Gonzales, go out and support the programs. I know we've tried making more of an effort than just doing I'm over by SeaWorld, the north side schools, going out to the south side schools, going down. I know Rafa's been all over San Antonio and even Texas just in general, supporting high schools. But if you can, please go out, support, and I always get something from the concession stands to support the boosters and stuff and the individuals that go out and put their time out for there. So grab some water, soda, Frito pie, nachos, whatever that they have, and help support the local schools throughout Texas, for the hair, because it really does make a big difference if you can go out and support them.
Thank you,
Thank you, Coach. Go ahead, Rafa.
Like I said, thank you again, Coach. Like I said, hopefully, like I said, good luck to you guys in the playoffs, and hopefully we can see you soon. Hopefully, get a opportunity to check out a game over there in Gonzales.
Hey, I hope y'all come down. Come enjoy it. Come enjoy the
How's
grass.
how's the concessions?
Concessions are great. They're the best concessions.
I'm not gonna call out the school, but they had $2 water, $2 can of soda, and $2 Little Debbie snacks. I will just say I'm not a skinny guy, and it was a couple of hours to drive over there, and I didn't make it to a place to eat prior, so
So I'll tell you.
I was a little disappointed in this.
It sounds like my rival school or something. Right?
No, if you come to Gonzales, we'll treat you.
Thank you, Coach. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and good luck this week and hopefully the next couple of weeks until you make it all the way to state.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank Coach. Have a good one.
That was Coach Seiph from Gonzales High School, the Apaches. Like I said here, they will most likely, they will be facing Floresville. The site hasn't been determined yet. I think he mentioned they're shooting for a Friday night game for that here, but contracts have not been signed or finalized for that here. So, but to me, I was kind of excited. Sounds like he's putting in a lot of work, doing. I don't think he said he was part of the club, but doing kind of the rec, doing the junior varsity through there. To me, it sounds like kind of what Southwest has done, where where you can see them kind of building that foundation extremely early for that here. So to me, they will be a program to watch out for.
Yeah, it sounds similar to like what Brennan High School used to be. I remember Coach Lane, and I remember talking to him when we played him when they came to Dora one time. So he was in charge of the kind of the youth soccer program. It wasn't directly coaching; it was more kind of the director of coaching to kind of implement the curriculum and so forth. And I get the sense that that's what he's I guess his role there in Gonzales. And I think it's really helped. I guess it really helped them. So it's tough for a lot of these rural schools to play club, and to have that, it's a benefit. I know it's a benefit some other schools like I mentioned talking to Lockhart. Lockhart has their club teams. They look at their boys. Their boys teams in the playoffs, so it's made a huge difference. And like I said, I think Gonzales is a team to keep an eye on these next few years. I think they're going to really build a great program, and I wouldn't be surprised they end up winning a regional championship, for 4A.
Texas Chief, love the show and support you guys, your high school soccer teams in the 210 and the 830. We do appreciate that, Texas Chief, for that here. But we're talking about the pound for pound Rafa Power Index, the RPI, the top 15 in the San Antonio area. I've got to look, and there's a couple of teams I'll just maybe kind of pick a bone on, but I think Rafa did all right here. Once again, you want to go in on what makes up the Rafa Power Index from the start before we get into the honorable mentions?
So pound for pound means through class 4A, 5A, 6A, same format like what I do with the state rankings with 50/50 podcasts. This is the San Antonio version of this, like San Antonio area version of this. So I go through stats as far as like games, ones, who they played, things like that. And this one, I know it had been almost close to a month since I've done this. You can tell the growth of some of the teams, and there are some teams that started out slow, but they end up finishing strong, and you're going to see, like I see, a lot of changes from the last time to this time. Because like I said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I think this is a reflection of these power rankings. Like I said, it's not three separate ones, it's just one straight one, 4A, 5A, 6A. These are the teams who I think, like I said, kind of like the boxing, pound for pound, best of the best here in the San Antonio area.
So let's get started. Girls, we're going to do the ladies first here. Honorable mention, JP2 finished their season in the regional finals. Antonian in the regional finals. O'Connor and Steel Knights just missed out. So there is another one, but we're going to do that a little bit special here. Your thoughts on JP2 and Antonian, the ladies in taps, both going out a little bit earlier than I think most thought?
Mhm. Yeah, we thought maybe we were gonna make some deep runs, but like I said, they still had great seasons, and like I said, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like I said, they've become some of the like I say for the girls' side, one of a couple other teams, the powerhouses for taps girls soccer here for San Antonio, and then on the other two teams, like O'Connor and Steele. Like I said, O'Connor had a big win over Taft. Just recently. I mean, a good win. A good win. I mean,
They
a win,
can't. They got the win, but I will
That's
say
it was a good win. And like I said, but it's a good win for them.
it's a
Going
great
into
win. It's a great win. I will just say how the game ended. If you're a Taps fan or Taft fan, you're a little bit sour. I was on the other side. I saw the net move, but I can't verify if it was the ball or a player. But the clock operator also stopped the clock because everybody thought it was a goal to draw it. But kudos to the referee. He made the call. He stood up to it. Explained it to the refs. There is no VAR at Northside Field 2 for it here. But like I said,
or double touch.
yeah, it is. But no, to be fair, it was a great game between the O'Connor girls and the Taft girls. Both teams, like I said here, as you can see here, O'Connor will be going in Division One, the second seed, where the Steel Knights, to me, did well in district. Started out a little bit slow, as you mentioned, but we're coming on. Was on the honorable mention the last time. Finished D1. We'll be going to Division One, first place here. Thoughts on this Lady Knights not making it up, even though district-wise they continued very, very strong.
Yeah, they're on a team on the rise. I know in the beginning they kind of it was a little slow start, but I think the level of competition they played, I think, it's prepared them for this district because their district they're in 29-6A. It is a tough district because you have teams like so actually two powerhouses kind of came in, which was Buda Johnson and the Canyon Girls. So we knew this was going to be our barn burner of a district. But for them to win the district title, they got a first round game, so I think they're going to be playing one of the Laredo teams. I'm not. I believe might be Alexander. I'm not too sure. I think they're on the Division One route. So they have a game with them, and keep an eye on the Lady Knights. Could they possibly go? Maybe three deep in the playoffs. I think they have a good shot. So we'll see if I think if the brackets are aligned well for them, we could see them possibly, in the regional semifinal.
So moving on to the next one here. They are honorable mention, but they deserve their own page. The Atonement Academy, the Lady Crusaders, Division 3 state runners up. They did come up a little bit short in the final, but as you can see, a great photo from Tap Soccer off of X there. Outstanding year. I know you're extremely high on them because right now there's Geneva, JP2, and I know in our discussions you mentioned don't sleep on the Atonement Academy going forward.
Yeah, Atonement Academy. I think this is just the beginning for them. Like I've mentioned in the past, they switched from fall soccer to the winter soccer. They took their bumps a little early, that switch that first year, but you can see they're starting to build and build. I mean, to get to the, I think this is I believe their third year in fall tap soccer. To get to the final, that says a lot, especially since Geneva and GP2 have been dominating, not only district play but also that region too. So hats off to the Atomic Academy. This is something they can build upon, and this is a team, could be seriously in consideration of winning the state title again, finally winning it next year.
Yeah, like to me, like I said, I know they're honorable mention, but I wanted to give them their flowers. Separate of that, just because they did finish as a runner-up for Division III, which is what, like 4A-ish for UIL for that here.
4A.
Along those lines here for that. But moving on, we talked about on the boys' side, but I guess it's not SA Gonzales. I need to update that. Gonzales Apaches, the Lady Apaches. They'll be Division II first seed out of 4A 27, 15-4-2, and 11-2 in district.
Great scene for the Lady Apaches. Like I said, Rich mentioned they've had an excellent and a great year. We'll see how far they can go in that Division II playoff.
They got to go. Uvalde, right? I think is who they will.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough test for them. Uvalde perennial
historically he's done well. Yeah,
done well. Yeah, so that's gonna be a test for them. I think they haven't finalized where they're gonna play at, and the date yet, but that should be, if you have a chance, I think that's a game to really kind of check out.
You think that'd be in SanAntonio somewhere? Because that would be kind of in the middle. Or
I believe so. They could be. It could be SanAntonio,
or they could
maybe
flip. Yeah,
or Pleasanton. I think Pleasanton would be, because they do have a soccer field there, so it could be there. Maybe in Floresville. Like I said, we should find out. Or Medina Valley. We'll find out soon.
Oh yeah, Medina Valley would be a good one too. Jefferson, the Mustangs here. Sorry, I didn't update the name there. They'll be heading Division I, first place. 5A 27, 17-5-1, and 12-1-1 in district.
Is it Division I or Division II?
I
think it's Division II. They're heading to the playoffs.
Hold on, let me pull up my sheet.
Yeah, I believe they're playing Division II.
$5A, right? Yeah, $5A.
Yeah. Well, just to mention, Jeff, like I said, they did win the district title again. Like I said, they won it this year. It's been a couple years since they hadn't won it, but they finally got it back. Great team.
Seguin got it. Yeah, so it is Division II. Because Seguin and Highlands both are higher. That's correct.
Yeah. So they're going to Division II route. I believe they're going to play. I think are someone that we know that we're familiar with.
MacArthur. Yeah.
Yep. So they're playing MacArthur. Haven't set the date yet, but I know they're playing them possibly Friday or Thursday, Friday, one of those 2 days. But that should be a good game too. But Jeff, like I said, excellent season for the Lady Mustangs. We'll see what they can do in that first round game.
Brandeis, the Broncos. I do love their new logo that they rolled out this year. 12-4-4, 7-3-4 in district. If I got my numbers right here, they'll be second, Division II, second seed for that.
Brandeis, like I said, they started strong early on in district, but kind of struggled, kind of in the middle. They were able to get a tie. I was at the game on Tuesday, the tie against the Lady Rattlers from Reagan. So should be, like I said, interesting match. I think for who they're going to play in that first round game, but it should be interesting how they do here. Can they kind of bounce back and see if they can go 2-3 deep?
And number 12, the Lady Southwest Dragons. I'm feeling a little bit 5A's 28's being a little bit slighted here for that here. 19-5, 13-2. They will be the second seed out of Division I for that here.
So, like I said, Lady Dragons, another great season. Just a game short from the district title, but no shame on that to the team who they, like I said, that was ahead of them. But I know Southwest should be favored in the first round game. We'll see if they can build upon that and get that second round and beyond.
You're gonna upset Chief. We're gonna be on his bad list. I can tell you. Number 11, the Reagan Rattlers, 15-4-3, 9-3-2. Division One's second seed on here, if my math is correct, here for the Lady Rattlers.
So Lady Rattlers, like I said, another excellent season for them. Just a little short from the district title, but still a very dangerous team. Like I said, a lot of talent. They have a very interesting matchup, first round matchup. With one of the teams in the top 10, and I think if they
Against
have a
two.
chance, I believe it's going to be Taft.
Yes, it would be. Yes.
So that's going to be an excellent game. So wherever they have that game, that's a game not to miss. So very talented players on both ends, and like I said, I know some sites are kind of not happy having these powerhouses play each other, but like I mentioned, you got to. In order to be the best, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So, but like I said, Reagan, like I said, no, like I said, there are a dangerous team, a very talented team. Like I said, I think they can get some things done if they get by that first round game.
Number 10 out of 6A28, the second seed from District 28. Sorry, one screen has it. The second seed below Taft for there, because is it Taft or O'Connor? No, it'd be Taft. 16-2-2, 13-1-1 in district here. Really great year for the Lady Warriors.
Great year for them. Like I said, can they, build upon this great season into the playoffs? Like I said, they have another tough matchup. I think they're playing Johnson. That should be another excellent game too. Like I said, we're gonna have some really excellent first round games here in San Antonio, especially on the 6A brackets. Like I said, it's just gonna be a shame. One good team is gonna go home, and the one's gonna continue on. So, but like I said, can't count out the Lady Warriors. Like I said, very talented midfield. Um, like I said, they could be a dark horse in this playoff.
Piper at number 9, 17-3-2, 13-2-1. I won't lie, they're a little bit lower than I anticipated, and I'm not saying that the teams above them, should be knocked down. But seeing a team that's got 3 losses, 2 in district, and one of the toughest districts in the state, in my opinion, at number 9. So your thoughts on the Piper Warriors?
So Piper, another great season for them. Like I said, it was a game behind, I think, Simpson Valley for the district title. Still a game pending. I know for them. I don't think it's. I believe that.
Yeah, it's not
Friday.
final. Yeah,
it's not final out yet, but also it's not final what division they're going to play in.
right.
So I know currently they're in Division 1, but if things change tomorrow, there's a possibility they could end up in Division 2. So depending on the game,
New Braunfels, right? New Braunfels result.
Depending what New Braunfels does tomorrow, that'll determine if Piper goes Division 1 or 2. So, we're gonna be keeping an eye on that to see how that turns out.
So that's why I didn't say anything as far as their playoffs, because I know this one is not set in stone for that here. Davenport, 4A26, 15-2-1, 7-2 in district. I believe they will be Division 1 team number 1 from 4A26 for that here.
Yeah, so Davenport, another great season, just a little short. I expected them to win the district title, but Wimberley ended up winning it. But I think Davenport, like I said, they had a deep run last year to the regional final in 4A, so they'll be in the Division 1 bracket. I think they have the talent to do kind of repeat the same thing from last year. And so they don't. I know they don't have to play Wimberley because they've been 2 different divisions. So keep an eye on the Lady Wolves. We'll see how they can get to the 6th.
Your mic went out there for a second here.
Can you hear me now?
Now, much better, yeah. The Lady Mustangs, a team that I follow quite a bit. Obviously, my kids go to John Jay, so a little bit impartial. 19-3-1, 15-1 in a, to me, an underrated 5A district. For that here, having seen the teams here, they'll be Division 1 first seed here. I will say they are led. They're led by 3 really strong players, and then they have good core behind them. But this is a team that, when it comes to bracketology, I'll be very interested to see how far they go. But on a season overall, like I said here at 7, like I said here, it's a great game, great season. Their first, I believe they said it was their first district title. By the Lady Mustangs. So outstanding to them. And like I said here, as somebody that has 2 kids in John Jay, I'm extremely happy, and especially since the boys missed the playoffs by 1 year because we couldn't get past Harlandale. All credit to Harlandale, don't get me wrong, but losing 6 points to them, we were behind Harlandale by 1 point. So if we could have just got 2,
I don't know the difference. Yeah, they can. I think the Lady Mustangs can send you a playoff shirt as for consolation. So, but what can you say about the Lady Mustangs this year? Last year, we talked about them last year. They started out strong, but then
they beat O'Connor for the first time, right? I think that was who they beat.
And it looked like they say, hey, this might be the team to really keep an eye on. And
then they slumped coming down the stretch.
Coming down the stretch. But I think moving down to the 5A, help the program kind of match numbers with them. But they've actually, like I said, Coach Soto's done a great job with this team. They've really exceeded expectations, and Southwest has kind of had a gridlock on this district, but the J girls were able to win this one, and only one loss. What can you say? This you mentioned this was a very underrated district. Yeah, them tears, just like the Atleti fans. But what I'm gonna say, John Jay, like I said, they could surprise some teams. We'll see how far they can go. I know there should be a favorite for the first round game, and then depending on who they match up in the second round, that can determine a lot how far they can go.
Yeah, to me, like I said here, I think they on any given day they may have the two to 3 best players on the field. It's just the depth of the team here that I think that when it comes to playoff times and you're playing against other top quality teams, does the Lady Mustangs have the depth to do it? I know they got the heart. I know that they'll do, they'll give everything they got. I just, when it comes to the second season, depth plays a major part when it comes to that. Speaking of that, Johnson Jaguars, D1, Division 1, first team, 12-4-6, 10-2-2.
A great season for the Lady Jaguars. Like I said, they had a lot of those ties, but they bounced back and were able to win the district title.
Well, the ties were early. District-wise, they kept it kind of clean.
Yeah, because early on, it kind of looked like, are they going to struggle? Maybe there's some growing pains, but once they got to district play, they really turned it up a notch. And hats off to the Lady Jaguars. And I think they're a team that's peaking at the right time. I know they have a tough first round matchup, and then they're gonna have to run if they want to get to stay. They're gonna have to run the gauntlet because that Division 1 for 6A here in Region 4 is going to be stacked. But I think Johnson does have the talent to to get through that and maybe represent Region 4.
Number 5, the Lady Taft Red Raiders, 16-5, 13-1. In my opinion, has the best female goalie in San Antonio area for that here with Madison. They were trying for the perfect season. Unfortunately, as we discussed earlier with O'Connor, came up a little bit short. Effort was there. Like I said, it was just a great game. O'Connor, played great, lights out. Like I said here, it's to me, Taft is one that, it'll be interesting come bracketology to see how deep that you and Steve and Coach forecast them to go, because I do think that unlike at the beginning of the year where we kind of thought, hey, maybe they'll most likely still make the playoffs, but I don't think anybody had them going 13-0 and just losing the last match. On a heartbreak.
Well, actually, they finished 15-1 in district
Or
play.
15-1. Oh, Max Prep
Yeah.
only had 13-1. So
Max Pratt needs to get it together. But what can you say about Coach Davis? And like I said, I spoke, like I mentioned, we interviewed him back on Sunday, and I spoke to him early on in December when I went to go visit Taft, and he did mention, he had a little concerns how this team was going to gel, how they were going to be able to kind of get it together. And he mentioned there was some doubt early on. They were I think 1-4, and then they turned it up. They turned the leaf, and they got a big win early on, and they just didn't look back. Yes, they did lose the last game, but like I said, kudos to them to win the back to the three straight district titles, and that is tough for this district to win 3 straight. I can tell you when I was in this district when I coached, and we won back to back, but three is very tough to get. So because of the amount of the talent, the schools, like he mentioned about other teams, like Stevens gave him a really hard, give him game. Holmes may have had the best record, but they kept some teams on their toes, through the game. So but kudos. Yeah, go ahead.
Most games you didn't see the blowouts. There might have been 2-3 goal wins, but you didn't see. Like there were a few of them. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, you didn't see from the bottom teams, getting blown out by mercy ruled. A lot of these games were tough, competitive. Because I saw quite a few of them, and like I said here, the soccer was high level, even on the teams that maybe didn't quite have the depth or the star power. Typically, it's up front. I think that's where the big difference between these two, or between the teams that finished at the top and the team at the bottom, is in 2 positions: goalkeeping, and then if you got somebody that can put the ball in the net. If those 2 things, typically and this probably goes for high school in general, you're going to do very well. And unfortunately, with Holmes, Stevens and stuff, they come up a little bit short in one or more of those areas.
Yeah, but you can tell that this district, the Northside district, really, it's getting better and better each year, boys and girls. As far as the level of competition in soccer, like I said, the players you're getting a good pipeline of players in a lot of these schools.
The only problem, Austin and the Valley still improving as well. Number 4, Medina Valley. I know we had high expectations for the boys. The girls actually delivered 17-1-2, 11-0-1. They'll be the Division II number 1 seed out of District 30, or pardon me, 6A 30 here. So your thoughts on the Lady Panthers?
Yeah, so first year in District 36A, which is the Laredo Del Rio Eagle Pass district. Moving up from 5A to 6A.
Yeah.
But what a great year for the Lady Panthers, and like I said, I actually got to see them play in January. Very talented team. They'll get tested that first round game. Like I said, they are going to be tested, but if they can win that one, they got a good shot. Maybe get to,
because they play 29, right?
Yeah, they play 29, so it'll be. I'm not sure who would that be.
San Marcos. Actually, no. Hold on. That might not be updated. Because
I did see that there were. I know the Del Rio girls were playing Canyon, I believe.
Let me see if they've updated it for 6A Division 2.
So it's a possibility. It could be maybe, I don't know if it's Buda Johnson or
6A29. So Steele was 1, Johnson, Ken, and San Marcos. So yeah, if it's that,
might be San Marcos.
Yeah, it's gonna be San Marcos.
So so it'll be San Marcos, because I think Del Rio finished. I think they were I don't know, they're going, I think probably D1. I'm not too sure. I got to double check on that. But like I said, should be a winnable game there in that first round. And then from there they'll play one of the Valley teams, and depending if they play Los Fresnos or Harlingen, that could be a tough test for them. But if they can get by that game, we probably could see them in round 3.
Moving on to number 3, Smithson Valley, the Lady Rangers 14-4-3, 12-0-3, and 5A26. A little bit surprising at how well they did in 5A26.
I mean, this was the group of death.
But not to have a loss. That's what I'm talking about. Not having a loss.
Said,
yeah, they got 3 draws, but no losses.
Yeah, to come out without a loss in district play says a lot, and kudos to coach over there at Smithson Valley, and just another great season for the Lady Rangers, and so going into now to the playoffs, like I said, I know last year, 26-5A got swept by 25, and I'm sure they want to return the favor this year, and I think they have a good chance, and it's going to be, like I said, I'm not sure who they're going to play at first. I believe I do know that I think Cedar Park and Liberty Hill are going D2. So I think I'm not too sure who's on the Division 1. I believe it's
Let's see if it's updated.
might it be like I think Vista Ridge or
yeah, they don't have it updated on the state bracket yet.
Or Rouse, one of those. So, like I said, I think they're very focused here. Here coming into this first round game, it should be a heck of a game here for for them. But I think that they can get by this game, by that first round game. I think they can go pretty deep and maybe even get out of the region too.
So they were 2, right? The Division 1 second place.
Because I do know Cedar Park and Liberty Hill are going D2.
So I will say I was a little bit surprised by your top 2 teams, just because I know how you tend to favor the big schools. Not calling you out, but calling you out a little bit. Lavernia 4A 27, 21-1, 14-0. Obviously, Division 1 first seed here. The Lady Bears, I know we're talking about with Gonzales, same district. Your thoughts on Lavernia, and obviously you must like them because you got them as the second team.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the record speaks for itself, and I actually got to see them play a few weeks ago to talk to coach, and like I said, they look great. They're a great team. I think she's got them because it's her first year there. They're at at Lavernia. She's got them going in the right direction, and they're gonna surprise some people. I know Division 1 for girls. 4A girls is going to be tough. There's going to be some stacked teams like you mentioned, like Davenport. It's Cal Allen's going to be in it. So this is, like I said, this is one team that could surprise some. Maybe some. I guess it could be a dark horse going into the playoffs. But great season for the Lady Bears, and good luck to them. Like I said, I think I see some good things on the horizon. Whatever the results from this season from here on beyond.
And then the number 1, another 4A team from the group of death, 4A 26, 18-1-2, 7-0-2. They'll be the top seed in Division 2, the Wimberley Texans. Your thoughts on Wimberley getting the top? You had 2 4A schools in the top 2.
Well, that's what we do. It's pound for pound. Like I said, regardless of the classification. Some people are really surprised I have a 4A. Well, if you saw 50-50, yeah. Well, you saw on the boys state rankings, I had a 4A as the number 1.
Yes,
so
I did.
Progresso was 25-0. So here I have the Wimberley Lady Texans. What can you say about them? Great season for them, going undefeated in that tough district with Davenport and Canyon Lake, and also like I said, and Fredericksburg and Marble Falls. Possibly the clear. I think one of the favorite teams to get out of region for Division 2. Now there are going to be some. I think one team maybe looming. I think there might be a test. Is going to be Corpus Christi London. I think if they face each other, that's going to be one heck of a game, and hopefully they play the game here in San Antonio. So if, like I said, that's a game to kind of keep an eye on. And so if you watch bracketology, we'll see where they're going to end up playing in the playoffs. But congrats to the Lady Texans. I think they've really earned this. You know, kudos to that program. Like I said, it's been on the rise, and I expect more great things from them. You know, like I said, for this second season.
So now we're going to transition to the boys, the 2025 boys pound for pound Rafa Power Index for that here. I will say I have kind of a bone to pick, and I know Chief isn't going to like it, but I'm going to save it. But we'll just see your top spot. I got some.
I don't think I don't think she's gonna be mad about that. You know,
Not yours, but I think my number one is a little bit different than yours for here because they've got hardware, the top hardware that you can get. But honorable mention for the boys: Johnson, New Braunfels, Christian Academy, Madison, St. Mary's Hall, and Floresville for that here. All through here, and obviously we talked about Floresville with Coach, from Gonzales there, and that matchup here coming up the later on this week here. But your thoughts on the 5 honorable mentions that you have listed here that just missed?
like I said, all 5 playoff teams. You know, like I said, San Mary's. Like I'll start with the TAPS teams. You know, San Mary's Hall had a great year this year. You know, it's it's a little short, but you know, great year for them. Same thing with New Braunfels Christian Academy. Uh, Another great year for them. So something to be proud of, like I said, for both programs and TAPS. And then you got the 3 other UIL schools. Like I said, you have the 2 from 27 6A, Johnson in the playoffs again, and Madison able to snatch that last
Get by
spot
Lee,
from
right?
Lee. Yep, you know they got a big win on the last game of the season, and also a win over Lee too that helped them get kind of overtake them for the last spot. So congrats to them. And then Floresville, like I said, Floresville started out. Actually, remember they started out I think undefeated early on. I know they went to the Laredo, the Border Olympics tournament. Laredo played some 6A teams, and they still, like I said, they competed with them. They didn't really suffer like bad losses. You know, there were close games, and I think that helped them prepare for their district play to go undefeated. And like I said, they got a tough matchup with Gonzales in that first round game. So we'll see how that goes on for next week.
And for Ray mentioned here, if you want to check out rgvsports.com for the high school girls standings, and I know they also do boys as well, but I know he mainly works on the girls side there. They also have an app that you can do. I know it's on Apple for that here, but like I said here, RGV Sports, a great resource for the high school teams down in the RGV Valley for that here, and a good friend, and we got to talk to Ray. Maybe on this show, but the RGV, was it Red Crowns? That's going to be coming, but and I joked with Edson, the Red Clowns, and he laughed it off. But for that here, but looking forward to getting Ray and Edson and Jacob, the down the valley crew talking soccer again this summer. With the new team that created down in RGV. Not Saint Cornerstone Christian, but SA Cornerstone Christian Academy. 15th team TCal, 16 3-3. I didn't know where to look for playoffs, so I don't know if they have playoffs or not have playoffs. But for SanAntonio Cornerstone Christian, obviously a great year. I know we talk about it every time. I would love to see if they could go to UIL or something along those lines to being a little bit more competitive. Or not necessarily competitive, but more well-known league, I guess, is probably the proper term.
Still a great season for them. Like I said, they got 16 wins for their independent playing an independent schedule, and great program. Like I said, hopefully maybe there'll be consideration, maybe going to TAPS, or if it's possible, maybe UIL.
Brennan Bears, number 14, 6A28, Division 1, second team, 14-5-3, 10-3-3.
Brandon, like I said, they were great season for them. They were in the hunt and contention for a while for that district title for 28 6A, and um, should be an interesting matchup in that first round game. Which I believe they're going to play. I believe it's going to probably be. I think Brandeis. Um, I don't know if that we can confirm that, but should be, like I said. I'm trying to say, is it Brandeis or
For which one? Sorry, my daughter, I guess,
no worries.
robotics is having their competition this week for here. So she told me to wake her up at 5 this morning, and she's got to go back to Jay to fix. I guess the robot needs some repairs for that here. So she's letting us know she's going to be late. So Brennan, so D1. Oh shoot, I don't have it here.
Are they going D1? So that'd be. I think that'd be. I think they'll be playing Reagan, I believe. Yeah, because Reagan did. I think they got the top seed for D1.
Yeah, because Warren at 26. Yeah, Brennan's at 3,000. So yeah, they're the biggest school. So yeah, they'll be going D1.
Yeah, so I think more likely they're going to be playing Reagan. So tough matchup, but like I said, still a talent. This is a talented team, so it's gonna be a great game between both squads.
MacArthur. Sorry, I had a candy bar. Number 13, MacArthur finished second in 5A28, 15-5-1, 11-5. Playoffs. They'll be the first seed in District 2 because the two Southwest schools are going D1 for that here. So your thoughts on MacArthur?
So great season for them. Like I said, they built upon what they did last year. When they won the district title, I know they came into a very competitive district with Southwest and Legacy, and we mentioned Harlandale. It was and Jay. But they're able to get that second. Like I said, can become finish runner up for the district, and could be a favorite here in that first round game, and we'll see what they can do. Remember, they went deep last year, so could they repeat the same thing this year?
I know they're not in the power index. Don't sleep on Harlandale. I'm just going to put that out there for people getting ahead of through here. I was really impressed with Harlandale. Legacy is good as well. They're the ones that stopped Southwest. But Harlandale, they're my sleeper. Brandeis, 6A27, D1-1, 14-5-1, 9-4-1 for the Broncos.
So Brandeis, like I said, I was there at the game on Tuesday. Fell short of the district title against Reagan, but they've played a great season. Can they bounce back from that loss? And be ready to go. Like I said, they're gonna have a tough matchup first round, and then we can see if they can make a run from beyond. Like I said, this is a young team. And like I said, I know they're only losing 3 seniors, so like I said, maybe the kind of the lack of experience kind of caught up on that game, but don't count them out. Like I said, very talented squad. Like I said, we'll see what they can do here in the playoffs.
Number 11, Harlan Hawks, 6A28, Division 2, first seed, 14-5-2, and 12-3-1 in district.
So Harlan, actually, like I said, the first time they hadn't won the district title in a few years, that went to Warren. But Harlan's still able to bounce back, still get in the playoffs. Still a talented team. I know, like I said, they started out slow, but they've bounced back pretty nicely, and they're going to be a tough team to handle, in that first round game. And whoever they face, they better come prepared because they're in for a fight.
So Bowie's already been announced as 25, right, 25.
Mm-hmm. So they'll be going. So they'll go D1. I believe. I think. Well,
No,
unless Del
Bowie.
Valle.
No, it's already in here.
Okay. Yeah,
Austin Bowie is D2.
D2. Okay, so Del Valle means if Del Valle got in, so they got the D1 spot with
Yeah.
Lake Travis.
Lanier, the Volks, 16-3-4, 12-0-4. Nice district record there. One of those teams that started out a little bit slow, but during district really turned it on in 5A27.
Yeah, Lanier's been one of the surprise teams this year. Like I said, I know last year they did make the playoffs, but this year they end up getting the district championship, going undefeated. They're in that SAISD district, and um, should be an interesting matchup. I believe we got I think it's Southwest Legacy. I think in the first.
Yes, they'd have legacy. Yeah.
So that's going to be a great game there. Both teams, like I said, so you have a chance. I think I haven't gotten details yet on where that game is going to be at, but um, that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Very competitive game. Can go either way. But yeah, like I mentioned, if you're out there somewhere either downtown or the south side, wherever it's going to be held at, make sure you check out that game.
I was trying to see if it's updated. The Greyhounds Bernie, 5A26, 13-4-1, 11-3-1. Division 2, number 1 seed. They're number 9, but to me, for them to step up from 4A in a really tough district for that here, Chiefs at Southwest Legacy 17 at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure what date, but for that here, but it'd be a 7 o'clock kickoff for that here. But your thoughts on the Greyhounds? Oh, next Friday.
Friday. Well, what do you say about Coach Strong and his program? I think a lot of people expected maybe to take a little step back, moving up from 4A to 5A, especially with the run they made last year, all the way getting to the final. Um, but they've proven them, that they can play with anybody, and they're going, like I said, they're going to be in the Division 2 bracket. They're going to be a very dangerous team, and if I'm Cedar Park, I'd be very worrisome about this. And if you haven't done your brackets, when you do your brackets, don't be surprised. This is one of your bracket busters here. Like I said, this Coach Strong has a lot of experience. He's shown that with the boys here, and they're ready to go. I think Steve went to go check them out. He said they're a very talented team, and like I said, they pretty much. I know they played a Piper team that was just as good, you know. For so um, just keep an eye on Bernie. I think they're going to be one of those darkers for Division 2.
So a Final Four team, SanAntonio Christian, photo courtesy of Tap Soccer. State semifinals, 24-1, 8-2 for SanAntonio Christian. So great season. One of the Taps teams that made it extremely far in the playoffs. Your thoughts on SanAntonio Christian?
Yeah, another great one. Like just fell a game short. I mean, to their arch nemesis, Brownsville, St. Joseph's, um, which St. Joseph ended up losing they end up losing in the final. But what are you gonna say about Santa Christian? Great year for them. I know they were tested because they had not only St. Joseph's but also St. Mary's Hall also was in the mix too in the district play. So we'll see what they do as far as next year. Can they get over that hump? That hump with the Brownsville St. Joseph's and finally get breakthrough and get to the final and win it all. So, but excellent season for San Antonio Christian, and like I said, we look forward to great things next year.
Reagan, Division 1 top seed, 10-6-5, 9-2 and 3. This one, like district wise, I think they've earned it. Non-district wise, when you look at their overall record, for them being the 7th seed, that's the one where I kind of, it's one of those, you're way in the district, but how they did non-district doesn't seem to be impacting them as much.
Yeah, they started a little slow, and I know you went to see them play. I think that game against McNeil, but what are you gonna say? Can you say about them?
They won a
For
tough
from
district, so
Yeah,
yeah.
they're in a tough district, and Coach Villarreal has done an excellent job with the boys. They lost. Like I said, they didn't make the playoffs last year. They kind of they lost out in that last game. They got knocked
Well,
out
they
and,
snuck in, right?
snuck in. Yeah, they snuck in, and I'm sure that left a bitter taste on them. And I think this year those boys were on a mission, and they ended up, like I said, the game they played, down a goal. They ended up coming back. They just, they you can tell they had a little extra pep on their step, and able to get that second goal and hold on to the win. And that game was earned, and those are the type of games that you're going to see in the playoffs. And like I said, they're battle tested. They're going to be a very difficult matchup. Not only first round, but if they do get out of the first round, second round and beyond. So keep on Reagan. Like I said, congratulations them on winning the district title, and we'll see what they can do from here on out.
So number 6, the Steel Knights, 13-2-3, 7-1-3. Both the ladies and the gentlemen swept first place in District 29 on both sides, both boys and girls. What can you say about the Steel Knights?
Uh, Kind of the same thing, slow start, but came back and the 20. Like I said, I think 29 6A is a little underrated. I think they kind of flew under the radar as far as the district, because I know
They
20.
start so late, though. That's why, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just because there's not a lot of teams in it. So, in my opinion, I didn't focus really a whole lot on the district just because it started so much later compared to the others.
Yeah, so with 27 6A and 28 6A, kind of getting more, I'm not saying getting more to the spotlight, but more, like I said, they do start a little bit earlier because of the amount of teams they had. You mentioned they kind of start late, but you got to give kudos to the Steel Knights. I know last year they had a good season. I think they were trying, like I said, I think that was a team to kind of keep an eye on, and like I said, they delivered. They were in a tough district with their sister, I guess, their rival school, Clemens. I know that there's an upstart San Marcos team, like I said, that made the playoffs last year, made it again this year. You had to beat them, Johnson in the mix, and then you also had the Canyon Cougars, from moving up from 5 to 6A. How good they were last year. So, but to, have one loss in this district says a lot, and to win it too, keep an eye on these guys. I think
I,
I'm gonna
I,
say that I think. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say keep an eye on them. And I know the first round game is gonna be tough. I believe they may be playing Laredo Alexander. That could be a tough matchup for them. And I've seen Alexander play. They are a talented team. A little down this year, but like I said, if they can get by that game, they have a good shot to maybe get to the third round if they kind of maybe avoid Los Fresnos. Like I said, Los Fresnos probably with the top 6A team, or Ennerbreak at Cotomides too. So one of those two, they may have to face one of those two in that second round game.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be interested to see how District 29 does in the playoffs, because they used to be District 27, where they
Mhm.
went up against the Northeast schools in that first round, where now they're going against the Laredo through there, and we saw kind of the Northside schools, Harlandale, Taft. They had some tough matches, but compared to being on the Northeast side and then playing the Austin schools in that quadrant. It'll be interesting to see how Steel and the other District 29 teams do this year, since they switched spots in the standings.
Mhm.
Lavernia number 5, 16-4-2, 13-1. What can you say about the Bears? Another great program. Just to like to go with the ladies as well.
Yeah, Lavernia, another great season. Like I said, I actually got to see them play against Kennedy, back and forth game. The field wasn't ideal, but it was still great soccer there, no matter where it's played. And then got a big win there, and they got a big win. I think they avenged a loss to Cole, which that was a little shocker there. They had lost to
Mm-hmm.
Cole, but able to get the win back and claim the district title. And um, now they focus now here in the playoffs in Division One, which for 4A boys, it's going to be stacked. There's going to be some teams like we mentioned. You have Davenport, you have um, especially in the valley, you have Progreso,
Mhm.
Hidalgo, um, Valley View. So they're going to be tested, but like I said, I think this team has the talent enough to go far, and we'll see who they match up here in the playoffs.
So 4A27, they will be on the side of Progresso. For that, not in the same quadrant, but in the same 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 side as far as if you get to the
Mm,
third round. That's
third
when they
round,
could. That's when they could face Progresso.
which they
For
actually
that.
have faced. They did face each other in Sulphur Springs. When I talked to coach, they said it was a it was a close game early on, but like I said, Progresso pulled away. But second time's a charge. You never know. It's different adjustments, and
Teams grow.
no, teams grow. Yep.
Uh, Good second here. Texas Chief, love me some Lavernia Bears. Some of our club kids pay for the Bears for that here. Moving on, number 4, 6A28, Warren Warriors, D1, first D1 won 18-3-2, 13-1-2, and a very competitive 6A28.
So great season for the Warriors. District title. Like I said, last few years have been dominated by Harlan. Able to snatch that title away, and now turn their focus now to the playoffs. See, can they do play what they did in the district season? Now I'm trying to make a deep run. So, like I said, they got a real tough first round. First 2 rounds are going to be tough. Just to say, like I said, you got the Northeast schools and you got the Austin area schools. But
Lake
if you can get
Travis
by,
in 26, yeah.
so they got a tall task. But hey, these boys are not going to shy away. Like I said, I've talked to coach, and like I said, if they play their game, they refocus and they go out there, do what they need to do. And like I said, they're a resilient team because I've seen them play, and they like coach mentioned to me, he's like they find a way to win, and if they can, and that's what you're going to need in the playoffs. Can you find a way to win and advance?
Number 3, Piper, 19-4, a perfect 16-0 in district, going Division 2 as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, great season for Piper. Like I said, like they did last year, same thing again this year. Can they go deep? Deeper. In the playoffs. Can they win the region? Um, it's gonna. It's. I think they do play. I believe Liberty Hill in the first round, so that's a tough matchup there. Uh, but if they,
Is that Alamo Heights can't catch Smithson Valley, right?
I believe that. I think Steve mentioned. I don't think they could. They can anymore.
Because that would be the only way that they would drop down
But
for
yeah.
that here. But yeah, because Alamo Heights would be at 1,500, would
So that would have
be
pushed them up to D1. Yeah.
push them up to D1, but I don't think they have enough games to make up that difference. I think that it's a game and a half, for the loss and draws.
So that's like I said. Now Division 2, 5A is going to be tough because you got. If you look at the kind of the south end of those brackets, you have Brownsville Porter and Brownsville Lopez, kind of on the horizon there. So, or where they face one of those, and then you also have a Sharyland team that's good. I know Sharyland's playing Porter in their first game, so one of those 3 teams, like I said, Piper could end up having to beat in order to win the region.
Yeah. So I will say your number 2 is my number 1 because they've won the title. If you win the title, and I know depending on how the playoffs thing, it may settle out. And no disrespect there, Chief, and your Southwest boys, because they are an outstanding team. But to me, my number 1, if I would have put, would have been Central Catholic, that won the state championship for TAPS D1, which is equivalent to 6A. And won it in a convincing fashion. I think it was 4-0. So outstanding to Central Catholic. Congratulations on your 10th state championship for that here. I know Southwest is a quality team. Don't get me wrong here, but your thoughts on Central Catholic, and then obviously Southwest is the number one team for you. But your thoughts on Central Catholic and why you have them at number 2 at this point.
I think for me it's kind of like 1A, 1B, but because like I said, things can change. Like I said, we are gonna have a poll after the maybe a friendly. Hey, Chief, maybe that's a game that needs to be scheduled next year. I'm just putting it out there.
I think a lot of people would show up for it.
not a scrimmage, an actual non-district game. I'm putting it out there. That'd be nice, and I'll even do I'll even do commentary. Me and Steve can do commentary for that game. But what are you going to say about Central Catholic? The last 2 years they fell a game short, and they were the favorites going into those games, and somehow they lost. They had heartbreaking losses, towards the end, and. This year I know they had a new coach, Coach Bart Valerio, who's a friend of mine. Like I said, I started my club coaching with him there at Club America here in San Antonio. And I spoke to him early in December. Just kind of say, how do you feel about this team? He said that he had the talent. If they're willing to. The thing is, the key when you switch coaches, are those players willing to buy into the system? And like I said, and me and him kind of have the same systems because, like I said, we came from the same club, and he's very dedicated as far as having a disciplined team and working on the technical side, and it all fell through. And I did see, like I said, the one loss was against that league game, and that was still a very competitive game. No shame.
And it was late, right? Or it was 1-0, right? It was a 1 goal. I think if memory serves right, it was 1 goal.
I think it was a 3-1 game.
They gave up a late goal, right? Yeah.
So, but it was still a competitive, great game, man. But those are the reasons why they play those games. Is for this, and I think that's for the advantage they have, maybe compared to some of these other teams. And then maybe those other TAPS teams, maybe kind of start to take notice. Hey, maybe we need to start playing tougher level competition because, like I said, they went to the North. Like I said, Central Catholic went to the North Texas Showcase Elite, the Elite Showcase.
Yeah,
it's preparation for that. So, but like I said, you gotta give them kudos for this, and they fully earned this state title. And like I said, I can't be more proud of Coach Bart, on winning the state title.
Well, and I'm trying to remember, there was a team, I think it was St. Agnes out of Houston that really pushed them, where I think it was PKs, right?
PKs, yeah.
Went to PKs on it here. So that and typically if you make a playoff run, there's always one game where can you get over the hump? And they did. And St. Agnes, like I said, here has a great history as well. And I know they went back and forth through the year. But number one in the heart of Texas Chief, Southwest Dragons, 20-1, 15-1. Division will be going Division 1 top seed in 5A 28. 7th district title. They did lose their first match in 90 district matches, I believe it was. In overtime that went 11-10, something along those lines here against Southwest Legacy, a rivalry game. People that we've talked to said that Southwest had plenty of opportunity, or actually it was on the 50-50 podcast with the coach from Southwest.
20 shots on goal.
20 shots on goal. But Legacy played them tough the first round, played them tough the second round, the defense held strong, and won the coin flip when it came to PKs, deep in PKs. So, but to me, like I said here, the only reason why I would have them number 2 is just because Central Catholic does have the title. Southwest Dragons has the potential, and like I said here, I'm not saying that they're going to win it, but I think they need to go deep, regional finals, or even make it to the Final Four for state to maintain the number 1 seed. I'll just put that out there for the final. Rafa's power ranking here, not that I'm trying to influence. To me, like I said, but Southwest, like I said here, if you haven't listened to, I forget the coach's last name,
Coach Romero.
Coach Romero on the 50-50 podcast from, I think it was Sunday, right? Or yesterday. Sorry, these days are running together. Great interview. Like I said here, I can tell you from getting to watch the JV and the varsity play against Jay, and there was one other game that I did watch. The program itself is class, just from JV to varsity on how there's really no difference on how they play. The quality's top. So I believe they have several seniors this year. So but I don't expect a drop off. Obviously, if you've got 7 in a row, they'll be pushing for 8 district titles for that here. But to me, a well-deserved, 1A, 1B, however you want to do it. But like I said here, there is a lot of pressure. Or not pressure, but there's a lot of expectations on Southwest. And like I said here, it'll be interesting when it comes to bracketology, how far that we pick them to go. Do they get a road bump from an Austin team? Do they get a road bump from a team from the Valley? Because we do know that there is some challenging teams, and of course, depending where you play, also matters. Chief is already putting it out there as well, state or bust. So I'm not saying that, but I do think, like I said here, they've got to go deep. In my opinion,
I think like from the interview yesterday, I think coach and his players understand that those expectations are high, and because like I said, they've been disappointed the last few years. Like I mentioned, they've gone to the Valley and have come up short. Now the circumstances are a little bit different because the format's differently. Now they don't have to go to play in go down 4 hours to play a regional semifinal. Now you play at a neutral site, and unless you flip home, which a little bit dangerous to do, but you never know if you're feeling lucky. Maybe you'll have that game in your backyard. But I think this year, I think the boys, that's one of the questions we asked. I think the boys understand what's at stake as far as and the expectations and what needs to be done. But they do know they have to take this one game at a time and not kind of believe in the hype. Just stay focused. Respect your opponent. And like I said, there is going to be some bumps. Things may not go your way, like you mentioned that last game. They outshot that team 20-2 against Legacy. It just, like I said, the ball didn't go in, and you may see those type of games in the playoffs. And that's the thing. You have.
Well, there's always one. There's always one.
Yeah, there's one.
There is always one that you're like, hey, why was it this close? For that here, I will say concession wise, since we brought it up here, Southwest A+ when it comes to concessions, a lot of variety. The Frito pie and the nachos, or no, I had the nachos there. Nachos was very, very, very good and especially they gave extra jalapenos, which I enjoy. Even though they ask, hey, do you want jalapenos? I'm like, yeah, duh. But
yeah, they do have. I had the pleasure of meeting him.
One of the best keepers in the state. Yeah,
I had the pleasure of meeting him last week at Olu, but like I said, for them, like I said, the focus is trying to get to that is to win the region, and then see what happens from beyond there, because they are going to play a team from Region 3. We don't know what the teams are. We'll find, like I said. So you want to see who could they possibly play? Tune in on bracketology next week. We'll see like I said, what matchups are the teams they could see in Division 1 from Region 3. But I know there's some tough challenges. You're looking at Leander Glenn. Leander Glenn made it to state last year, and I know they had a little setback recently. I think that was the one district loss they had, but they're still a dangerous team. Then you have another team I know Southwest is familiar with, is Browns Rivera. Very talented program, and like I said, they're probably gotten better since they last faced each other. So, and then you got a couple other teams like Liberty Hill team. You keep an eye on too. I know Legacy's got them first. Could see them in that second round game. Kind of keep an eye on them, and like I said, it's and then you don't forget the 26 teams. You got those teams from, like I said, maybe New Braunfels gets in or something, and it's going to be fun. It's the fun time of the year, the March Madness high school soccer version, and looking forward to making the picks next week.
Ooh, a little pushing and shoving in UTSA East Carolina for boys, or not Conference USA, but East Carolina
American.
player went up and just pushed them in. So that'll be interesting if there's some activity that takes place in the second half. But Rafa, we did a good job. We got a great interview with Gonzales coach. I know you and I've kind of talked about that with maybe in the off season, trying just because there's not a lot for high school soccer, maybe trying to have interviews with coaches, maybe new coaches that get hired for that here, just to kind of get an idea of kind of what their thoughts are along those lines here. So outside of
Yeah,
Central Catholic, I thought you did really well.
I am. Like I said, I am working on bringing. Like I said, hopefully get some new coaches. I have one in the works. We probably have to do it maybe on a different night to work around their
That's fine.
schedule. But like I said, we're very flexible. I do want to say that, like I said, this platform's for everybody. We don't just focus on one or two teams. It's for all of Greater San Antonio. You saw that we featured Gonzales. We've gone out and listed all the teams that we cover. From SAISD, to Southwest, Northside. Everybody gets. We spread the love. We don't focus on one or two teams. And
Well,
um,
I lean heavily on Shea. Let's just be fair.
well, you have someone that goes to Jay that plays for Jay. So that's the exception there.
But no, with
That's
Steve and Rafa, like I said here, they go all over. And I try to go all over as well. But I won't lie, I talk up Jay and just because my son plays for them and my daughter goes to school and with the robotics team for that here. So but no, like I said, outside of that, we do try to include all levels of teams. That's why I was giving him some grief on his power rankings, because there were 2 4A schools in the top 2. I can't remember that ever happening before, and I'm not saying it's not well deserved. But like I said here, that's just through here. And Chief, like I said, thanks for what you do promoting Southwest as well. For here, and like I said here, good luck to all of the teams, and we will see you on the pitch. And I'm hoping to get out to see some playoff games, depending on my schedule. It'll be interesting to see how things go through. My son's AJ, he was number 10 on the JV for that here. He had transferred from Stevens, so he couldn't play varsity this year, but next year, he's got to earn it, but like I said, coach has already gave him some stuff he needs to work on for that here. But like I said here, he does all right. Like I said here, he's got some things that I would like him to do a little bit more as a dad, but that's me as a dad.
Do I have to take him out on the field and kind of fix those things? I know Royce wants to work with Rex on the goalkeeping stuff. So
yeah.
So that.
My biggest frustration with AJ is he loves to dribble the ball, and he's in club. He's already got 2 yellow cards for it, one being a red card, where if he commits a foul or there's a foul, he'll dribble the ball or he'll do the to me, I call it Neymar, the theatrics of delaying the restart. It's too much draw Madrid watching them and all their theatrics. But no, I love him. He's a good kid, like I said here. But I know for me, I'm excited to see what Jay will look like next year. I know this is a JV. On the JV side, their only loss was to Southwest in the second half of the season. So, like I said, I think for Jay next year, there'll be a team to kind of look out for because they only have 3 seniors. Maybe they can challenge Southwest here. I won't say that too loud so that way Chief doesn't yell at me for that. But no, like I said here, to me, it was a pleasure. I will say, since J season's done, I thought it's great to be able to go travel to the South Side schools and the Southwest, South Side, Harlandale. South San, even to me, if you haven't been to South San, go see South San because they have probably the best Veterans Memorial right outside the stadium. Well worth the price of ticket to go out. And I know, unfortunately, Matt Southsand, I know his parents worked for them worked for the school or graduated from the school. Athletic wise, baseball, they tend to be pretty good. But soccer wise, not so good on the boys' side. But no, Rafa, we're finalizing bracketology. I think depending on how the brackets go, if everything goes well like we anticipate, because teams are already starting to fill in, results are starting to be there. Where we're thinking about doing 4A Monday night, kicking off around 8, 5A on Tuesday night. So for the Southwest fans and the John Jay fans, and 6A on Wednesday night. All will be starting around 8 o'clock. It'll be us, the 50-50 podcast, for that here with Coach Kano. Along goes there. I think it's just going to be the four of us that are going to do it. Just because if we talked about bringing in more people, we did that one year, and the time just exploded having to go through.
We may have one person, I guess, for the 5A.
For the 5A, we may try to bring in from Yellow Soccer. Yellow Soccer up in the Panhandle. He was on the 50-50 podcast as well, and he can kind of give some, maybe 4A, 5A, depending on
Region 1.
Is Region 1 for that here, because Rafa's obviously got the Valley here, and SanAntonio area, Region 4. You have buddies over in Region 3 that you've kind of talked to, and Region 2 up in Dallas, I think history has shown what they can do.
Shout out to Coach Langford, Jimmy Langford they're at Frisco Wakeland. He got win 350, so shout out to him. I know he's a friend with the 50-50, so he got a 350th win, so shout out to him. But I think also going into, like I said, I think the teams, so make sure you watch and see as far as their picks. But congratulations to all. Like I said, getting to the playoffs is probably it's tough. It's tough, year in year out to get in, and that's something to be proud of. Whether you win the first round game or not, that's something they can't take away from you, is getting there. And then also for the teams that didn't make the playoffs, don't let your head down on that. You got something. I know it's harder for maybe if you're a senior, because it is your last year. But for the underclassmen, like I said, don't let your head down on it. Work on yourself over the off season. Have a goal. Get with your teammates. What can you do to get better? And like things can change, because we've seen teams turn things around after a year. They didn't make it last year, but they made the playoffs this year. So, like I said, no matter what your record was this year, for the players that are coming back next year, work hard, and set a goal. Like I said, making the playoffs is a big accomplishment, and and whatever happens beyond that, hey, it's just icing. It's like the cherry on top for that.
And here's the remember for the playoffs: there's only going to be 2 teams that end the season with the victory. Division 1 and Division 2. Everybody else will end with a loss. So keep that in mind. One thing that I want to, do, please be kind to referees. They won't be perfect. We know they're going to miss calls. I know when we went to Eagle Pass, I was on the referee just a little bit here, but it's okay to but just be courteous. Don't be rude. Say yellow. Hey, you missed the call. Call it even. That type of stuff. Don't attack personally. And then of course support the kids afterwards, both positive and negative. Don't ruin the game from the stands, because we do know that intensity rises both on the field and in the stands for playoffs. And depending on how the seating is arranged, you may be side by side. So if your blood pressure's starting to rise because person next to you is cheering for the other team, get up, move down to another, move down or move up, whatever, just to kind of get away, go get a drink of water. But just don't ruin it for the kids. Like I said, and like I said here for the seniors. I'm 53. I still remember my last match that I wrestled at the state championships in Colorado, 30 some years ago. So there's some there's things that you'll take the rest of your life. Just know all the hard work that you put in to get there, both academically and just physically, to be able to perform at a high level. Because most of the sad thing is, most of it, this will be the end of their career, just because not a lot of kids go to college for sports, along those lines here. But Rafa, final thoughts for you, and then that way we can get out of here. I'm proud that we're under 2 hours, which typically when we do these, we haven't been under 2 hours, but I think it helped that we just did the
RPIs.
Rafa power rankings and not standings and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure Royce will be proud that we kept it under 2 hours. But and also, like I said, also with San Antonio FC stuff, make sure if you haven't gone, buy your ticket for Saturday's game against Pittsburgh. I think it should be another fun game. There will be a tailgate there, so make sure you come out, have fun with FTC and 210 Alliance, and like I said, have a good time there at Toyota Field.
And I believe me and Royce, or it'll be me and maybe Matt, it may just be me. Saturday morning, we will do a show previewing Pittsburgh Riverhounds and talking SAFC. We at least have a little bit of identity to kind of go over. And then Sunday night, usually around 8 o'clock, we will be also highlighting the result, hopefully a 3-1 win over Pittsburgh Riverhounds. But what's life without goals? And hello, Scott. He's interacted with you previously this week here, so I wanted to give you a shout out. Founder of, or co-founder, I guess, him and I started it back in the day 7 years ago now. So this is the 7th season. So I wasn't as gray back at that point. But what's life without goals? We're out of here.